Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dips Maverick here, bringing you a video as promised. Um, so today's conversation was actually pretty good, where MT was talking about, the setups that MTs look for, and they know that, these are pretty much sure things. Um, so, when they see that setup, they know what they're looking for, they know how they're going to enter. And that's what I'm going to talk to you guys today. Today, there's here's the main thing we're going to look at is number twos, going with the trend. Yeah. So we're going to look for a trend and bounces of BB bands and or in direction of trend. Um, However, I'm going to show you my main setup. Now, this is a very high probability setup that when I see it, and not only in one time frame, when I see a similar thing on higher time frames, I'm there and ready to click the button. However, it requires patience. And the best thing about this strategy is it gives you pips quickly. In my opinion, this is my favorite strategy because of how quick you get pips, and because I know exactly when I should enter and exactly when I should exit. And I know, and actually, so a lot of you in the room know that I don't really stack much. But when I see these setups, I stack usually two or three times, and I'll explain why in the video. So, um, one of the things that I would like one of the things that I want to make sure that we are really clear about is what we're going to cover. So, right, let's get this up, shall we? Do, do, do. Right, so the three things that we are going to cover is basically I should have written this beforehand, but I just thought that actually it would be really useful to put it in text so you guys can see. So trending trades, brackets number twos, what to look for, yeah? What to look for. The next thing what this is gonna show you is why and when 5 minute BB bands break. Now, if there's one thing you take away from this video, this is going to help you understand when a 5 minute BB band is going to break or whether it's going to survive. Um, because as I show you the setups evolve, you will understand, you know, the probability is very likely for a BB band to break, or the probability is not very likely for a BB band to break. And then how this gives you a better read on long terms too, because the setup I'm going to show you on the 15 minutes also appears on like the 1 hours, the 4 hours, the 8 hours, the daily. It appears on all time frames, um, except the 5 minute because we use yellows and greens in the 5 minute, and so that's why. But any time frame higher, you'll see these setups appear. So let's just quickly grab that. Sorry, very unprepared, but I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible because obviously if people are, I don't want people to start leaving the room and stuff. What MT was talking about today, some people are like ready to leave the room and things like that because they can't manage to get it. But if I show you these high probability setups, then you know what? If you start looking for those, it's very unlikely you're going to lose, even when you've got your bias slightly wrong. And I'll explain that as well a bit later. So we're going to look at trending trades. Number two is what to look for. Why and when 5 minute BB bands break. What happens next as well after they break. And how this gives you a better read on the long terms. Yeah. So, snippet that, whatever you need to do. And let's get into it. Let's move on. Okay, so what I've done is I've picked a few videos to take you through. So I've obviously been researching the paper trading videos to find the examples. Now there's lots of other videos that have the same examples, but I picked these because actually some of them are harder to read, and some of them obviously have the exact setup that we're looking for. Now, um, let's start with GE, yeah. So let's press play on here. Now on GU, what we've got is we've got a potential 4 hour showing up there. We've got even this daily up, but what we've seen is the 1 hour get to the orange line. Now, orange line is one of the places that this happens from. Now, you'll see what's happening at the orange line on the GU is that it's playing around, right? On the 15 minutes, you can see it's like it's kind of got a high here and it can't go past it, right? It's going to keep trying to go past it until it's just had enough. Now, the reason these are really high setups and is because um, we that 4 hour, you got to look at the trend. Look at how strong the trend is down. Look how strong the trend is down. So that daily is not ready to just start working immediately. And this is what you need to understand about these signals. They're not ready to just start working immediately. And yes, there's 4 hours here, so we have to be cautious. But this strategy works even when there's a 4 hour. The only times I'd be careful is if that was a 4 hour red, then I'd be careful, a bit more careful with it, and if the trend wasn't as strong. So we're at the 1 hour orange line, and that's what this strategy is. It's all about being at either the orange line on the 1 hour or the 4 hour. Even the eights and the dailies works the same. Um, but what you're going to do is if it's happening on the 8 hour daily, you're kind of looking for a 1 hour signal. What we're doing here on the 15 minute, because we're at the 1 hour orange line, we're going to look for signals on the 15 minute. Now, I I've seen these enough times to know that actually your entry is where we're at right now, which is about, this should be HD, shouldn't it? Oh God, let's get the quality sorted. Right, so I know that at around 57, the fact that we can't get any higher, the fact that it's playing around, the fact that these wicks are showing up, that this has to have a bounce now. It has to have a bounce. Even if there's a 4 hour there, even if there's a daily, whatever happens, this is going to bounce. And get this, when it does bounce, it is guaranteed to go to the opposite 5 minute BB band, which is here, right? And in 90% of cases, if not more, it's going to break this band, right? Because it's going to go back with the trend and it wants to test it. What it really wants to test the low, right? And if you can get past the low, it's going to keep going, right? So, you know, what you will see in many circumstances is a 15-minute here, right? And if you think about it, that 15-minute could be 3 or 4 candles behind, and it still hasn't done its job and it still hasn't worked. So the fact that I know that 15-minute has showed up, I'm waiting for this to try and break these bands until it gives me enough information to go down with it, right? So let's see what happens. If the 15-minute hasn't appeared here, it will come somewhere else as well. It'll come on the candle that's about to drop. So you can see it's already off. Now, a lot of people would be looking at an entry on this 5 minute thinking, oh, I've got that four, which is flashing on and off. I'm going to get in at that 5 minute, but you can't. Now, this is the beautiful thing about this setup. This is the trend coming back in because if you look at none of this space has been filled in ages. So that means when the GU shot up to this high, it hasn't been able to retest any price down here. So it has to come back to retest it before it can continue going up, if it is going to go up, right? And you know that we haven't even got past the 30-minute, but we've touched the 1 hour OL, but we've never closed above it. So now watch what happens, right? Keep going. Look, absolutely smash that 5 minute BB band. This, I want to show you more examples. This happens every single time there is a 1 and 4, there is a trend trade. This is how 5 minute bands break, and this is how I know not to enter here. And if I was to take this trade, for me it is a nice risk to get in just around the 60 mark or just below, even if it was 57, 58. Right, I would have been in here. See how the 15-minute is showing up? right? I'm going to show you some more examples in a little while. How that 15 minute is sometimes over here, and it just takes a few candles to work, right? But this thing absolutely has floored it to 43, and I would never have even got out. Remember what I was saying about stacking? So this is why I stack these setups 2 or 3 times. Usually that 5 minute band can be quite a bit lower. So my first stack will close on the 5 minute BB line. My next one will stack when this 5 minute when this yellow closes. So how many minutes we got? Right. So I'll be looking to make a decision on closing here somewhere. And look, that new candle's open. So right now I would be looking to close my second stack, right? If there you go, see it's starting to go back up. So I'll close it at this point, 45, 41, whatever it is, I will close it. But I know that I would have probably taken 15 off 15 off that one. I would have got roughly about 7 off the first one. So 7 pips, 10 pips, and I'll have one running, and I'll set that to break even, which is wherever I got in, which is usually at the top here, because I'm taking a bit of a chance on the trend kick in, because there's not enough to push it any further up, right? And that's the thing with these trending trades. It's not always obvious. However, in most cases, it is obvious because you either have a 15 minute somewhere in this region, you have a spike that breaks this band again, and you get a yellow, or you're going to have blues on the 15 and 30s. Yeah, and that's we call them trending blues for a reason, right? Because when those blues come and it's reached a OL on any of these, then that's when you look for your move. And with those, you'll look for a second move. But look, so now I've kept one running, and it's just flooring. It's flooring. So what's going to get me out of this? Well, it broke that band, so I may have considered it. Let's say I left it running. Now, here we go again. I just want to point this out to you because let's say, I didn't get out and I kept that running, fine. But when you got a green, you got a yellow, everybody's thinking, oh, it's going to head back up. But look, trend down, no 1 hour anymore, no 4 hour. Yeah, you've got a daily blue, that's not going to do a job anytime soon. Again, nothing on the 8 hour. So what I would have been looking for here is I would have been looking for this to retest the orange line. Guess what? I'm at HA bands flattening, and I would be down in it again for more pips. And this is why it's my favorite trade, because when these trend trades kick in, you get the entries from the top, which you can stack, right? Sometimes you get an entry off the or off a retest off the 15 minute, and you can drop it. And then now we're getting a setup on the HA bands and the 5 minute OL, and nothing to tell us on here, barring this 15 minute, that we should not be going down anymore. Yeah, and you could take that again, and you're going to pick something up. Yes, all right, you get down here, you can make a decision whether there's a second move in play, but I don't think there is, right? And you can see what else you've got. I mean, look, and you're going to get more. Right, you get a second green. Now is when you might say, all right, well, I've just won that trade down. Now you might say, okay, well, I just saw flashing green again. That might get you out, right? Well, yeah, of course it will, because you saw that. That's another warning sign, right? You got yellow 15. There you go, you're done. And that's it, you're done for the day. You don't need any more trades. But look, you got more. It's going further, right? Um, and these are the trades you need to catch on to, because I know a lot of you like having 1 and 4s there, and you want to take them up to the orange lines and things like that. And yeah, the good thing about the 1 and 4 strategy is that, or sometimes, a lot of the time, they are the number ones that we get. The good thing about that is that it's a bit slower. You get plenty of chances to get in because it keeps trying to retest the bottom and things like that. But these trades, once they're gone, so we entered around here. Once they're gone, they're gone. Yeah, like you're gonna be 20 pips, 30 pips up. Look, if let's say you kept that last one running, we got in at, well, that's 60. Let's say we got in at around 57, which when I originally looked at this video, that's how I traded it. It was 57 I got in. You're at 25 now, so that's 30 pips. And plus your stacks you might have done, plus the re-entries you had, because you've had no reason to change direction. There has been nothing on the long term to change direction, and you're with the trend. Um, And the other reason is you guys all know how much I care about risk management and how risk management is what made me successful at this in the first place. Now, for me, these trades are no-brainers with risk management because it's not going to keep trying to retest my original starting point. And that's why I love trending trades more than any other trade because once it's gone, it's gone. Right now, I can set a trade if I'm still in a trade from up here. I've set it to break even. We're at the end of the video. We've got nowhere near my original entry. And that's what happens with trending trades. That doesn't happen when you're going against the trend because what's going to happen is, let's say you got a 1 and 4, you take it up to the orange line, there's going to be a retest or it's going to go through it, right? And so you can't all like when you have number ones with 1 and 4 together, you kind of got to be in and out with your trades. So, if you grab 5 pips or you grab 10 pips, you take it and go because there's a very likely another retest is coming soon by it going down. Yeah, because remember when you go against the trend, it does this, doesn't it? It does it does the zigzags, right? Or it zigzags upwards. Whereas when it goes with the trend, it goes boom, 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 straight down, right? I hope I'm not talking too fast, but we've got so many videos to go through that. I wanted to give you that example. Um, Hopefully that helps. Yeah. So go to this video, it's demo 29. Picture this. Look how it's all flattened out. Look how it's flattened out here. Look at the wicks. There's lots of wicks telling me here that actually this has had enough, and it's probably going to do one downwards. Yeah. Um, right. Let's go look at another one. Um, right. You got to bear with me. I actually did this research a while ago, and I've been meaning to make this video for you guys, and it's just my other work and things like that has got in the way. But plus, I've been spending my weekends watching, Liverpool win and things like that. So, just joking, Jazz. Um, 62. I think this is one. Right. So on this, we're gonna look at UC. Right, I think it's 44 minutes. So this is a really good one actually. I'm gonna go back a bit more on it. And the reason I'm gonna do that is because, right, here we go. Sorry, I'm just gonna sip my coffee. Right, so what happens if let's look at UC. Again, UC has touched the 1 hour orange line. You've got blues. You've also got a 4 hour red and a blue. Believe it or not, there's a trending trade available here because you've got a daily 1 hour up and the 8 hours been going up. They're both above the orange lines. Everything's above the orange line. Now, even with these signals, because of where we're at when we hit orange lines, a retest is due. Yeah. Um, Now you have to be careful. Look here, we haven't had any flattening yet, not enough flattening, right? We've got nothing on here on the 15 minutes. We've still got red momentum, right? Now this is what happens. So you start seeing it go up. Now, the reason this happens, and write this down, guys, is they are looking right now to catch trend traders out. Yeah, they want trend traders to get in on these trades and try them, take them all the way to the top, full well knowing that they are actually going to drop this thing. Now, MT signals have not given us a signal yet to confirm that this is ready to go. We also we also know that we are dealing with a 1 hour blue and a 4 hour blue and help from the 4 hour blue with a little red. So we know that this has more potential downside to it. So let's see what happens. Right, we get 15 minute, right? Yeah, and so everybody's here ready, 72, ready to jump in. So you jump in, right? You get to 73, right? You're at 76 now. got to what, 78 or whatever. Look what's happening. It's coming down. Hasn't even, it's not even broken the 5 minute band. The band has flipped down. It's giving you that yellow there later because a bigger move happened than it should have. Now, here's the important thing, and I want you to remember this, right? That 15 minute has survived, right? And it survived in the direction of going with the trend. And we're going to see other examples of this, I think. But this happens all the time where 15 minutes survives. I'm going to forward now. Look, it's all come down. What's going on? Why is it everything that you tried to get now you if you got in at 73 or something, you're now 5 pips down, thinking, oh, I really thought this was off. But that's what they're doing because what happens next? Look, spikes down, gives you another yellow 63. Guess what? Yeah, that's your entry, right? Why is it your entry? Because it's pushed down, it's had another go, right? Now, even though that 15 minute was there, the entry is now. So this 15 minute hasn't failed. It's gonna work, right? And this is what I look for. I look for 15 minutes to survive, and then I look for the attempt. It has to attempt this. It has to attempt this low again, right? Now, the fact that it's attempted that low again means I'm interested in getting in, and I would have got in. And look, straight back up. Yeah. I won't just get in on a 15 minutes with a trend trade because 50 what happens is, and that's why trend trades a lot of the time, this is why people lose on trend trades, and then it goes in the direction which they thought it was going to go in the first place, because what the market makers are doing and what the banks are doing and what they're purposely doing this to you so that you try to get in on the first go. How many times have you got in a yellow and it's not worked, it's dropped some more and then taken off, right? It's that patience. You gotta have that patience. So wait for the 15 minutes to survive. Let it close above the orange road again if you want. Um, or look for entries that are further away. Like this is it. You got second yellow. It's further away. It's broken the band and massively rejected it. That's your entry. Yeah, that's your entry. And now you can, let me go back here. I should have said, look, once this closed above the orange road on the 5 minutes, it's going to retest. Right, here we go. Look, it's retesting. It retested the orange road. You could have got in again, and look, it's off. But it broke. Do you see how it broke the band and tested the 15-minute band as well? And then it's off. And again, you're not seeing it again. Look, 15 minutes. You're not going to see that again. There's nothing on it to say you're seeing it again. Right? And you see how that yellow keeps moving because yellows. You're in a trending direction here with a daily, with 8 hour broken bands, 4 hour broken bands, 1 hour. You've now got 1-4 signals as well. This thing's going to the moon. That's what people think. Anyway, look. um, but this is the point: is that um, you know you've got so many pips here. How many pips is that? Let's have a look. So 63.86. It's 20 pips. Right? But call it 15 you would have got out of that. You would have taken 10 or 15 out of this trade, but it's that bit where you just wait, that patience, having the patience to say, you know what, that 15 minute has taken off, I know, but let's see what it wants to do next. Does this wanna stay above the orange road on the 15 minute? Let's see what happens. you know. And then if it, like it closes below, but you got yellow again, now you got a trending trade. Again, this is a high probability trade, guys, right? Because once it's gone, it's gone. You're not touching it. Yeah? Yeah, okay, comes down, but by this point, it's probably going to go up from here. I don't know, but let's see, right? Like, yeah, fine, it comes down a bit, but once you've taken off, you're not playing. Like, this is another rule. You're not gonna then leave it at zero, are you? Like if you're 15 pips in the plus, surely you would just put a five, and you want to keep it open. You're going to put 5 pip take profit on it or a 10 pip take profit on it. So if it goes back, you win, right? So this is what you need to be doing. And again, beautiful. It's just a beautiful trade. And the reason, to be honest, the UC came down is because you always had that blue there. But it wasn't done because it's still. Now, this is the point I forgot to mention here. Look how the bands broke again. This is how I know the bands are going to break. Once I'm in these trades, right, I can sit there and I know that it's not time to get out until I see a yellow. That yellow might have got me out. Yeah. So, I might have missed out on 84. I might have got out at 84. I might have missed out on a few pips, a couple of pips, 5 pips maybe, because that would yellow would have got me out, and I'll show you why in the next few videos. Um, but that's what happens, guys. Like you see how you had the 15 there. This is a really important point, right? In fact, I want to snippet that as well while we're here. Really, really important point, guys, is this like that 15 minute. Should I use the red pen here? This 15 minute, you don't just jump in on it. You wait for it to say that it can't get any lower. And sometimes, and like this happens a lot actually, you get that spike down, a rejection, and then you get in and you're off. And that's why trending trades confuse everyone because what banks want you to do is get in here, whereas MTs, they like to wait a bit longer because they know with the information that they've got with the blue and things, the UCAD, like the setup's not there right now, but the blue was there with the red arrow. They know that there's going to be another attempt, and after that next attempt has happened, that's when it's like, right, I've got a big wick here as well, and momentum is fully changed on me. I'm in, and I'm going to smash that thing, and that thing is breaking the bands. Yeah. Right, cool. Next one. I really hope this is sinking in for some of you guys because they're my favorite setups and I take so many pips from them every week. I'm gonna I will see that setup maybe 2, 3 times a week. It might, if I don't see it on the 15, I'll definitely see it on the 1 hour, where a 1 hour has tried to do its thing and not quite got going. I'm trying to see if there's an example right now on these, and there isn't. Right, which one was that? 62. Right, let's go to 60, 66. 66, yeah. Right, let's go have a look at 66. Oh, 66 isn't even on here. I'm going to have to jump in here. Videos. I'm just going to sip my coffee, guys. It's Monday, so I had to leave the whiskey out today. Right, 66. Again, I need to refresh my memory, guys, because I've written my notes on it. And so I'll have a look at the setups as well. Right, here we go. Let's go back a bit, actually. Right, GU. No, wait. Right, go back, go back, go back. Right. Okay, we're going to see it again. Right, so interesting. Let's look at GU. Now, GU has got a 1 hour flip down here. It's gone down, it's broken through, it's then had a 1 hour up, and it's headed up towards this 1 hour. The flip down has happened. We've got 4 hours here. We've also got, some crazy moves, some wicks and things like that that happened. We've got an 8 hour. Now notice how these are all trending up. Yeah. However, how this setup develops over the session is going to be interesting. So you know, this is what happens. So we've had this yellow, 38 is the number. Nothing's happening. It's going sideways. And then what happens? We get a 15-minute. Now I'm very cautious. No, full well knowing I just had a 4 hour here. I had every like to be honest, this setup looks up in many ways because you had the 4 hour up, you had an 8 hour up, small red, and everything is the trend is still up, right? And I'm going to show you what told me it's down. See how it's not getting, it's not really moving higher. Let's see, look. Right, look, we've had a 15-minute survive. Remember what I was showing you the example on the snippet, the 15-minute surviving. It didn't immediately do its job here, like I showed you earlier. Didn't immediately do its job. So now I want to see. I want to see how high the next candle can get after the next 15-minute candle can do. Right, look, that's come down a bit more. Still nothing. I'm not getting any momentum. I'm not, there's nothing going on. Right, look, okay, here we go. This is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for this attempt to go up, but I'm not taking it up. I want that attempt to come, and then I want to see what it wants to do. 4 hours back, it's worrying because I'm like, well, this looks like a trending setup now. I haven't seen any retest take place here. I've not seen these 5 minute bands even break, and I like to see them break before I get into the upside. And don't get me wrong, you can trade this area if you want, but I'm looking for the big setup, yeah? Because I don't like that many trades. And now the fact that this 15-minute setup, I'm ready to get into the downside. Right, look, we've come down further. I'm still not, because of that 4 hour, I'm being a little, oh, I've just seen that change. Look, we've now got 4 hour down. Right, so now I've got another 15 minutes. So guess what? I'm going to wait for this to come up and I'm going to take it down. Is that what happened? Right, so 21. This is where I will get in because what's the time? Okay, 5 minutes. Let's wait the 5 minutes. Right, it's ready to go. 18, fine, smash it. Go for it. Broken the bands, yellow. Break of the bands, yellow. Yeah, guys, break of the bands, a yellow is coming because we're in the direction of the 1 hour trend. We're in the direction of the trend. What happens? The 5 minute BB bands break once these kick in and get going with the trend. With the trend. Now you got 1 hour and a 4 hour. Now 15 minutes flipped up, so this might be a good time to get out. So if you did stack it, this is definitely one of your exits. Yeah? Goes lower though, pushes a bit lower. Now you definitely want to get out. Yeah? If you wanted to leave one open, you could, but look, the trend is going. Now, in this circumstance, I wouldn't personally look for the break of the 1 minute BB band simply because I'm against the trend on the daily and the 8 hour and that. But I knew that 1 hour I was going to try and retest here. You can't have this big move happen and then just run away upwards without a retest, without it coming back down. So you need to understand that the 1 hour has to go and test things out as well. The 15 minute has to test things out. So even though this massive move has happened, you can't expect it to just keep going up sideways like that, it has to come back to retest because that's what happens. When you hit 1 hour and 4 hour orange lines, expect a bounce, but these bounces are real and they give you some real big pips. So, 54, I'll tell you what, let's go back a bit. We would have got in at about 25, I think. So 25, 3, 20 pips. 20 pips at that yellow point. Yeah? That doesn't even take into account if you had another one running to go for more. But this is why 5 minute BB brands break. Another tip I just want to give you guys, which is not to do with these setups, but um, on 5 minute BB band breaks, when you have 1 and 4s, when you have one and fours going in the direction, so let's say this was one and four, isn't it? There is a flashing 4 hour here. The 5 minute band will almost always break with one and fours, and the setup will to go back with the trend will always come after the breaks, after this area is broken and it plays around somewhere else. That's what you need to understand, because that way, when you if you are in the number ones, then you know you can stay in for the band breaks, but providing you've got a good one and four setup. And just like when it goes down, guess what? The opposite band is going to break, and you're going to get yellow, and it just happens. It happens all the time, guys. Happens all the time. So that's another example. Again, plenty of pips, and you only had to take what you could have sat all of this out. Yeah, where a lot of traders are just getting robbed for their money anyway because they get in wrong places and things like that, and then they're not sure if it's going up or down. Or you could have waited for the main setup and just taken that, and you would have been done. If you definitely if you stacked it, you're definitely done. If you just took one trade, you're going to take 20 from that, and you were done. So you don't need more than 20 pips. There are days where I only get 20 pips, and that's more than enough. Right. 66. I can't remember. Did we do 62? I'm forgetting, guys. I'm forgetting. It's not good. And I'm not old yet, so shouldn't be forgetting these things. Right, 62. Like I said, guys, there's a lot of. I told you there's a lot of videos. We're already 36 minutes in, so I'm going to try and get speed along because I'd rather you guys go watch this in your own time as well and kind of like go through it in real time if you need to. But I'm just trying to show you this main setup that I look for and gets me mega pips all the time. Where is it? 60. 60, oh, oh, come on. Is that the right one? No, 63. Clicked on the wrong one, damn it. 62, right. 62, right. Oh, we did this one, didn't we? Right, so actually that means we have got through, we've got through, oh, have we done 29 then? Let's go have a look. Sorry, guys. I know I'm a little bit all over the place today. 29. Yeah, we did 29 as well, didn't we? Yeah, we did 29. That was the first one I showed you. Okay, fine, perfect. Right, so what we're going to look at next. So see this example I just showed you? I'm going to show you what happens when you got one and fours in play too. So let's jump to the next video. Right, 61. Right, let's jump right in. Right, so what we're looking at is UC. What's happened on UC? Well, it's gone off with the trend. Now, what we want to do is we've also seen the 5 minute BB band break after. Let me just point this out. Look again. You had a 15-minute there, went back up. You got another 15-minute, right? These ones seem to be immediately doing their jobs, but look, because they're with the trend. No information on the long term. So guess what? UC is dropping. You've had a 5 minute BB band break there as well, but let's watch it evolve now. Right, so look what's going on. UC, we've got 1 and 4 hours, so it is going up. What happens? Continues going up, continues going up. Look what happened. This is what I was just explaining to you a couple of minutes ago. I was saying one and fours, 5 minute BB band breaks. Now this is where you hold tight, guys, because look, it wants to go again. So if you were thinking it's going to go down from here, you'd be wrong. And there's trend traders getting in there. Now you've got a yellow here, but what do? You can get in, or you can wait for the setup to develop some more. Right, see, look, this is where we're looking at. We are looking at right now, do you see a second move? See how it went a bit further with that yellow, and now we're looking at a second move to see if it can get any higher, especially with the 30 minutes and 15 minutes and the one and fours, and there's a lot going on, right? It gets higher, right? Now you've hit these BB bands, you've hit the 4 hour road. Now you can start thinking about if a trending trade is happening. There you go. You see, it's already started going. Goes up some more, but look, smashes back down. Yeah, it tried to attempt the high again. Yeah, this is where you say, all right, I'm at the bands, I'm at the 4 hour road. Yeah, now this is a number one, this is a number two from a 1 hour perspective and a 15 minute. After a big move like this, what has to happen? A retest has to happen, or it needs to go back. If it wants to continue back in this direction down, then it has to get going. But regardless, a retest has to happen, yeah? So we know we're going against one and fours and we're going against red yellows, yeah? So, if you get in that, look what happens. Where do you think this is going based on everything I've told you already? There it is, 5 minute BB band break. Yep, it did go higher. So this is what you got to watch for, right? But look, this time you got you had blues on 15 and 30. Do you understand the setup here? Yeah, do you understand the setup? And this is why I say, whoever was in the room last week, and I was saying to you, I have bigger stop losses with trend trades than I do when I'm going with one and fours in the opposite direction. Yeah, I use smaller stop losses and you use the bands as my points when I'm going against the thing, because obviously this tried to retest much later and shot up higher. Did it shoot up by much? No, it just shot up by around 3 pips. But I would have 10 pips in here. Yeah? And then what happens? 5 minute BB band break. And you get a yellow. Yeah? So this is why I'm saying the trend trades are better. They're high probability setups. You can use a bigger stop loss on trend trades like 10 pips or 15 pips that you shouldn't be using when you go against the trend. So here, if I would have been in some of these ups, yeah, on the UC, but I'd be looking at my entry down here, and you know what? I'd be so much more tighter with my stop losses because if I see any sign of trend continuation, I don't want to be taking hits for like, whatever it is. So in this, I mean, this is 48 and this is 45, so I would have stuck it underneath anyway because it's only 3 pips. So I would have happily gone with a 5 pip stop loss or something, or somewhere here I would have happily gone with 5 pips. But the point is that this is where you get yourself into trouble is when you go against major trends and then it doesn't work out in your favor and then you're stuck in a trade praying for it to come back. However, when you're with the trend, retests happen. So even when you've got a 4 hour and things like that, you have a very good chance of it coming back and breaking the 5 minute BB bands. Yeah. Now the fact that this is broken, I still have a 4 hour here. I've got an 8 hour here. What am I going to do? I'm going to get out. And I'm also going to, when I have the 4 hours and the 8 hours, I'm going to look for ups too. Yeah. Because that's what happens when the one and fours are there. Look, boom, more pips. Yeah. And that's the difference between the first three videos I showed you. Was it three? Yeah. So I showed you the first three videos I showed you. They were not good one and four setups. They were more setups off the orange line. They probably had a 1 hour or they had a temporary 4 hour for a little while. Whereas with this, you've got a 4 hour and an 8 hour, and they're still there even after the break of the 5 minute BB band, guess what? This is a setup to the upside. So whether you're in a number one or a number two, the setups, this is why MTs are so good at this, is because they know that, okay, I've had that yellow, I've still got the 4 and 8, bang, I'm going for it. Yeah, I'll stick my stop loss under here, boom. Yeah, so it's gone straight back up. Okay, UC is not as many pips, 45, 55, 10 pips or whatever. The thing is, they would have taken it here again. The potential would have, that would have been their first entry. This could have been another entry. This could have been another entry, right? And, they might even be considering these, but to be honest, I wouldn't get in once you're this high up because does tend to come back down. Let's see what happens anyway. You see what I mean? It tends to come back a bit more. Yeah, eventually. So it does, it starts playing around when it reaches those bands again. Um, but this is why I want you guys to study and look at this, because this is what happens. These are, these setups. That's how they evolve, and that's what they do. But it started with that. This whole setup started with that first 15 minute. Yeah, actually, sorry, it started with that 15 minute here, and big trades came out, and then you were giving it up because you still had the 4 and 8. When there's a 4 and 8 in your favor, take it up. Yeah, after the 5 minute BB band. But this is why you don't enter at the bands, because it's very likely these bands are gonna break when when once these trends kick in and stuff. Because I know what a lot of you do. You see a 4 hour and 8 hour, you think that, oh, okay, it's gonna go to the band and then it's gonna go back up, and then next thing you know, I'm not gonna name people in the room, but they're caught out in a trend and they're like, yeah, I just lost on that one, and I'm like, well, you should have waited. Or Jazz is like, you need patience, because this is a game of patience, and we're waiting for these signals, and we're waiting for things to happen like band breaks. That's how we're so good at this. Yeah, and that's why we're better than traders in the market at this. Right, next video, next video. Oh my God, I've got so many videos. Let's see how long this video is right now. I'm just gonna double check. All right. Next one is 45. Almost there. I bet you guys can see it before me. Right, 45. Here we go. What are we looking at? Okay. Is it 45 or is it? I think it's this one. Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. Right. Right. Let's see what's going on here. Right, so GU's going up. Look, one and fours. We've got one and fours. So you got trades here. But look what happens again. I want to show you what happens. Right, this starts going up, yeah? Boom. Band breaks. Band breaks. So when you got one and fours, these 5 minute bands are going to break. And yet expect yellows. Yellows are when you start being cautious. Yeah. So one and fours up. This isn't even the high probability setup. I'm going to show you the high. We're not even at the high probability setup. But just so you guys know, on number ones, these bands are going to break, and then you're going to look for trending trades. Yeah. Boom. You're right up at the top. Keeps going. We've got no reason to get in. Have we had a 15-minute down yet? No, we've had nothing. We've got this yellow. Yep. Okay. We've got no blues yet. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for some confirmation. Right, we've got green, we've got yellow. See, now I'm interested. The fact that I had that green, now I'm looking out for um now I'm looking out for situations, but it's still going higher. Okay, so I wouldn't have got that because that 50 minutes just showed up. I'm not interested. I know it's going down, but we wait because the 15 minutes just look, see, rejection. This is what happens. Like the 15 minute is ready. It wants to go back into the trend, but there are people not letting it. So you got to expect that. So this is why we sit and wait, regardless of the 15-minute being there. Look, it's starting to play around. Remember the play around that I was telling you about, how it plays around? Yeah, so we're waiting. Right, we've got another 15-minute. Am I going to get in? No. Wait. Yeah, because you can tell it wants to mess around, right? That yellow's gone as well. I know the green's there, but see now it survived. What am I going to do now? I'm going to let it get higher, and then I'm going to take it. Yeah. Oh God, where is it? So it got a bit higher, didn't it? There. So here, look. Now we're looking for something to tell us we can take this. The problem with this is we're dealing with red yellows, yeah? So it's dangerous with the trend. But I personally would not necessarily take this, and if I did, it would be for 5 pips. But the reason I'm showing you this video is I'm going to show you what actually happens. Yeah, even though we got red yellows, yeah, because this is what's going to make you a better trader. Look, it's going down. We're at the bands. Right, we've got all of these. We've still got lots of information telling us up, so everybody's at the band. Yeah, let's take it out from this band. It's no way it's going to break that band. We've got red yellows. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bounces. Guess what? Boom. There it is. 57. Band break. Now you look for ups, guys. Now look, you had another 15 minutes as well. But you see, there is pips here, right? With this one, okay, there is a little bit of caution involved required because it's not always going to break, right? When you got red yellow. So I wouldn't even advise it. But I want to show you most of the time this is what happens. Yeah, because it has to retest. It wants to retest where it took off from in the first place. Yeah. And now I would be looking. The only problem is I've got this 1 hour down, but I'd be looking for ups again here, right? Oh, I've got the green. Do you see? It's gone. Again, gone. Why? Because we had the 4 and we've got an 8 there as well, isn't we? It's there. Um, do you see? So you could have taken it up again and taken pips, and then look, it went back down. And I said that earlier to you is that usually when it reaches these bands, get out because this is when it can play around a bit. Don't try to carry on taking it up for more, um, because it's not always going to get there. Again, point proven. What's the setup again? Right, let's get this snippet up again. We had a 15-minute survive. We waited to see what it could do. We waited for it to retest retest where it started from. If it got lower, it got lower. Yeah, it did got lower. We took it and we took it up. Guess what? Same thing here. 15-minute. We waited for it to survive. Yeah, took it. Boom. Could have waited again. Boom. Again, taking it again. Right, even with 4 hours and things like that. There. Yeah. That's the point I'm trying to make to you is that these bands they're gonna break when it retests the trend. Yeah. And when there's a 4 hour there, that usually means it's gonna retest the trend and not continue through. Yeah. Whereas the first three examples we saw continuation, breaking of the bottom bands and continuation of the trend because the signals were there. This has got a daily down, so there's always going to be a retest of the band. Um, and this is what happens, guys. This is what happens. Um, while we're on here, look, EG, exact same thing. 15-minute here, survived, I waited. There's your entry. Boom. Guess what? You get lots of pips. Yeah? Get lots of pips. You can risk 10 on it or 5 on it. Well, I would always say 10. Risk 10 pips on it, but you're going to win, right? That's what trend trades do. You ended up getting a 1 hour with it as well, super, so you would have stayed in it. Yeah? Guess what? Break of the bands. 5 minute break of the band here. You would have had a yellow originally here, probably moved here. I wasn't watching it. But this is why bands break. I hope you understand. Right. So that's the other thing is, do you now understand trending trades, number twos, what to look for, why and when 5 minute BB bands breaks. I've just shown you when you got one and fours together that the 5 minute BB band is going to break so that you can get to the orange lines. Yeah. So you know from now on you can't enter at those 5 minute bands full well know at their original setting. Yeah, you know that they're going to break. You wait for them to flatten out, and then you start waiting for a 15-minute signal. Let that 15-minute signal survive. Let it try and get higher, and only after that you get in. I've still got more videos, guys, but I'm just trying to reiterate the point here. What one was that? 45. Let me see how long this video is. Okay, we're approaching. I'm not going to say how long we're approaching. It's pretty long. Playlist. Videos. Oh, sorry. Let's go to playlists. I think most of my videos are on this list now, so it's easier. What we're looking at. Oh, no, that's already gone. You see? Similar setup. Went a bit quicker though. Already gone. Yeah? What is on the next video? Right. I think we've missed it here, haven't we? Right, here we go. Look. GU. After 1 hour. Oh well. It's already broken the bands. What have we got? We've got the 15-minute. What happened to this 15-minute? In this case, it retested and continued going, right? So sometimes, yes, sometimes the 15-minute, when it comes, it will do its job there and then. But we actually already had information on the previous candle. You see the wick? You see the wicks here? You know, when it shot up there and you had the yellow and it tried to retest, you kind of knew you could have taken that. Obviously, I'm showing you an example that, we weren't in the room for, but it's there again. Yeah. And then look, this heads back up after the break of the 5-minute yellow. So you know that there's always a good chance. It's always gonna, almost always gonna go back to the orange 5-minute orange line. But look, this is what we now we keep an eye. Look, it's got below again. Is there gonna be more downside? We wait and see. No, it still wants to go up. Again, this is not a great example, but that example is the one I'm talking about. But look, you're getting 1 hour down. You see, it's gone. Gone like the wind again. So I would never have suddenly become biased up in here because I've got too many walls to get through. I've got an 8 hour super down, which is closed below the 8 hour orange line. I've got the daily below the orange line. I've got 4 hour below. I've got all of this below. This isn't even super. Yeah. I'm expecting retests to happen from these bands at the top. Yeah. And that's what happens. They just go boom, like so many. Yeah, that's one. I mean, that's a rough example. I'm trying to give you different examples of this because it's exactly the same thing happening. But the thing is, oh look, MT's kind of pointing. Oh, he's pointing out the ranging part of it. I'm trying to help you guys understand that what happens is the same thing every time. It might not look exactly the same, but it looks pretty similar to this snippet I've taken. Yeah, showing you that the 15 minutes survived. It tried to go back further down, and that's where I started looking for my trade. Again, same thing here. Look, 15-minute came down. Look, it tried to go back up, went down. Same here. Look, 15-minute tries to go back up. Most likely it might kick in and go down. I don't know. Let's have a look. I think it does, doesn't it? Look, see? Tried to test it. It's gone. But it's that bit where you don't just see a 15 minutes, I'm in. Yeah? Like trades can take time to develop, and you want to let those things develop. Yeah, patience is what wins this game. And saying, you know what, I'm going to wait that little bit longer because if I get a higher entry, then you know what, it's a safer entry, and I'm going to get more pips. What more could you want? A safer entry where you can have a smaller stop loss, and you can get more pips. Yeah, the reward in patience is more valuable than anything else because better entry, more pips, less risk. That's high probability, guys, and trending trade. High probability trade. Yeah, and now I've shown you why 5-minute bands break in both directions. What with 1-4s, with going back with the trend. What happens after they break? Do you get a yellow? What happens if you don't get a yellow? That's what we're not talking about. Sometimes you won't get a yellow. That's a good sign that you could probably stay in that trade for longer and that the trend is going to go for it. Yeah. Um, right, next video. I think I've been talking for quite a while now, haven't I? Right, EG. Right. I think it's a bit further on. Example in this. Guys, I only know all of this is because of the paper trading videos I've looked at. Yeah. I don't know if this is the no, this is not the right video. 44. No, it's not. Sorry, guys. I'm looking for this one. I think this is the one I'm looking for. Right. Right, EG, look. EG is coming down. Is it? God knows. EG comes down. We're at the orange road on the 1 hour. Sorry, I should full screen it. We're at the orange road on the 1 hour. We've had a yellow. So we wait and we see what's going on. We've broken through the 15-minute bands as well. High probability trades, when it's broken, the risk is always less. This is always, when you've broken these 15-minute orange lines and you're expecting a move back up and it's outside these bands, it's always worth an entry because the risk is so low that there's such a high likelihood it's going to shoot back up to stay within the area. But let's see. Wait. We wait. That's what we do. We wait for a setup to give us a reason. Right, we've got a 15-minute, but what do we remember, guys? We don't jump back in. By the way, this is going to be an example which doesn't necessarily work exactly the same way, so I'll explain that to you in a minute. Look how the 5-minute bands have come flying down. Still doesn't worry me. Still doesn't worry me. Um, but, you know, we have to basically know that we need to wait. We're going to talk about the GU in a minute as well. 15-minute again. Right, survive. So now we can look at testing. Look, it's trying to retest. It's trying to come lower. Let's see what happens. Let's see, it's not managed to do it. There it is. But look, look where the 5-minute band is now. We've got an 8-hour super, right? This is where it's not working. Do you see what I mean? Like, this can happen, right? But you wait. Will it break? Potentially, yes. But you know that your risk, when these 5-minute bands come so close, that's where your risk starts getting higher. Yeah, that's why you got to get good entry. Look, it's still broke. Yeah, but again, that 15-minute, that setup where you wait for it to test and it goes, does its job. It's worked again, but look, we've had no yellow as well. So let's see how that develops. We've got, barring these purples, we've got to see. It's going to go higher, I think, but there you go. It's gone a bit higher there. That's what happens because these bands are making it really difficult. Yeah. And because you've got that 8 hour, so be careful when there's 8 hours. I know I showed you an example earlier of 8 hour reds, like still doing the job. Well, this still did the job, it broke it, but after it breaks, it's time to get out, yeah? Now let's go back to the beginning because I'm going to show you GU. GU, 1 hour at the one, almost at the 1 hour OL, so we wait. Starts trying to go down, but we're smarter than that now, right? We don't get in, we've got flip down. We don't just get in, guys. We don't just get in. We wait. We've had a green. Now we're looking at the retest. Now, when I have a green and yellow and stuff, I sometimes don't wait for the 15-minute, but I wait for the highest possible price. But we're going to wait. See, it's broken it. It's broken the 15-minute. That's why we wait. And this is like, I know, this is a great example. I think Sergeant, I think you mentioned it before ages ago that you're always in like that 5 minutes too soon. This example of it, that whole idea of waiting, yeah. Because the moment I saw this retest happening here after the screen went back up, I wouldn't be entering it. I'd be waiting, and I know there's still more space here. Look, so I'd just be waiting. I want it to break that band. You see, I want it to make that attempt, and then I want to see a yellow or something, right? Or get a 15 minute. I want a setup to appear and I want it to evolve, right? Look, this has already tried to go down. We have got 4 hour here, but we've also got daily down. So, again, I know it's got quite low, but you can wait. You can wait. Yeah. Boom. Look again. 5 minute. You've got a 5 minute break and a yellow. Do you see? It's there. Just that bit of waiting before you get in. And then you've got it at the right price. So let's look at it. Let's go look at it again. What was the price? You could have got in at 83 if you wanted to wait a bit longer and confirm it. See, in this circumstance, we didn't get the 15 minute, but this is where, like, you got the green, you got the break. You can take chances here once you get used to it because you're getting signals on the HA as well. Yeah, and look, boom, gone. And once it's broken, it's up to you. You can stay in it if you like, or you can wait for it to hit these 5 minutes and see what it does here. Are we getting, no, it's going back up because you've got the 4 hour, yeah? But once it gets to these bands again, you're out. You don't stay in it because most likely, oh, this time it's broken through, but that doesn't happen every time. It's because that 1 hour popped up, I think. Yeah, see, and then help came. That's why. But that doesn't always happen, guys. Yeah, a lot of the time it goes back to these bands and plays around with it, and so you gotta understand that when you take these risks. But again, that setup was good. Look, that 15 minute is there now, isn't it? That 15 minute came a lot later, came on the break. You see, the setup is still intact, empty system is still intact because that 15 minute did come. Yeah, again, that same setup you're looking at, 15 minutes coming above the 15 minute OLs after 15 minute, near 15 minute BB bands. Usually yellows or greens at the OLs, at other OLs. Yeah, setup's the same, always the same. They have slightly different forms, but usually they're all the same. An empty system always gives us the signals, yeah? Right, what is that? 39. Right, I'm going to show you this example as well because, right. Now look, on the GU, we've got 4 hour blue, we have got a red yellow. It's already coming back. We haven't had a 15 minute, it's already coming back. But look, this is why you have to be careful with red yellows, yeah? You see how it's not broken the band there? Let's see if it heads back. Look, it's not heading back. Not yet, anyway. Look, it's broken the top band. Do you see why we say red yellows? And now you've got 8 red yellow, 4 hour red yellow. So I know I showed you an example of it working. It doesn't work every time, yeah? When you got red yellows, and this is why your bias should stay with the red yellows. So what you would be looking for is a break of the band to then take it up. Yeah, I wanted to point this video out to you just so next time nobody gets in on these red yellow setups and then is like, tips Maverick, why'd you tell us to get in on? No, I'm showing you why this setup works almost all the time, even in circumstances where you think it wouldn't work. Yeah, that's what I'm showing you. This has still done a job to a degree, but the 5 minute band didn't break because the setup is just too strong. Yeah, so that's why I said 90-95% of the time this setup will work. One of the times you be careful is when you got red yellows. Yeah, you have to be cautious. That's why if you did stack and you got out of one, here, you might have had the others on break even and you would have got out somewhere at break even, yeah. But one exit should usually be at the band rather than after the band break, because the band is going to break in most circumstances, except when there's red yellows, because it's you're dealing with a complete different ball game. Red yellows kind of mean that the market movers are in play. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay, cool. Two more videos and then that's it. Right. So we are looking for demo 19, I believe. I think it's demo 19. I can't. Right, look. So, yep. It's headed down. GU. It's headed down. It's still doing its thing to go down. Guess what's going to happen? It wants to go further. And look, 5 minute bands break again. Yeah, this is what I was saying. One and fours make the 5 minute bands break. And then guess what you should expect? You should expect a move back to the upside once you got the signals. Yeah, right. Your first bit of yellow there. Even though we've got a daily here, it has to retest because look how much it gave away without retesting properly. The 15 minutes, the 30 minutes, it all wants to retest. It can't just like get below everything and not try to get above it again. Do you see what I mean? Because that's what happens. It always tries to retest. So you look for and you wait for your setup to evolve. This is the flip ups have happened here as well. So, there is a chance I might have got in at 62, but I would be like if I did, I would have a bigger stop loss because I know it's gonna come back. Yeah. And look, it's come back a bit lower. It's gone lower, you see. So if I did get in there, I wouldn't be out of this trade, which is the point I'm making to you. But look, now you're getting another setup. Again, you got red yellow here, right? But it's still gonna have to come back to retest the bands, yeah? So then we find our entry. Potential entry is here now anyway, because you're on the 4 hour, right? This could actually, it's up to you guys, right? Because there's a chance that I might actually enter on the 4 hour and full on knowing that it might touch the 8 hour before it bounces. Yeah, but I'll let that trade run because I know, I've seen this so many times now that I know. Yeah, if you want to be really safe, you wait for it to get to the 8 hour. Yeah, much closer to the 8 hour now. Yeah, no, it's pretty much there you go at the 8 hour. Yeah, now you've had a green, so you got set up. Yeah, so this is the point I'm making to you guys is that like there are times I'll take it, but I'm happy to leave this running because I know there's a good chance I want to see that price again. Um, in this circumstance, a little bit different because you got dailies, 8 hours, 4 hours, 1 hours, but it still has to bounce. When that 8 hour finishes, there's still going to be a bounce back to the upside. When that 4 hour finishes, it still might attempt to bounce and get back higher. Yeah. Now you've got the 8 hour. Yeah. So you got to touch on the 8 hours. So let's see. 15 minute has arrived. So we wait. Let it try to retest. Is it going to retest? Don't know. But it's still, yeah. There you go. Broken the bands. It's gone back up there. Worst case scenario, you would have taken 5 from that first one, you would have taken 10 from that one, and you would have taken 40 to 20, 30 from that trade. Yeah, because this is what you do. Like your entry is here. Yeah, because it's tried to retest. Yeah, and then once the momentum's come, you've even seen a 15. Yeah, and if you didn't get that, you got a 15 minute. You could have quite easily have waited for that to see if it can get any lower, taken it because that band is going to break. That is happening. This has shot all the way below the 1 hour. It's going to attempt to come back above it. That's what happens. Yeah. Yeah, sure, it goes down later, but that's because did I show you? Yellows. After the band break, look for the yellows, and then you can take those when you've got fours and eights and dailies, and the guaranteed 5 pips, if not 10, if not more. Yeah, but only to the opposite side of the band. Yeah. Um, I really can't make this any simpler because I've given you the high probability setup, which is the trending setup, and in this video I've also shown you how to go back with fours and eights. If the number ones are there, I've shown you that how bands break against the trend and how bands break with the trend, and what happens after that break happens, and how to wait for your entries, not just see a 15-minute and get in. Yeah. So I've given you enough here to go away and trade this situation now. Now, bonus time. Oh, you're gonna love this. Now, remember what I said to you guys. This stuff happens on all time frames, yeah? Stuff happens on all time frames. And when I see this happen on bigger time frames, I am in that stuff straight away. Yeah? I'm in that stuff straight away. Right, check this out. Daily on GU. Now, I'm not even interested in all of this right now. I will be in a minute. Right, so what did I have? I had a 1 hour down, which didn't do, went back higher to retest. I then got given a MIM, which went down. I went up to retest, carried on going up, and started going down again. What does that remind you of? Does that remind you of these 15-minute setups where a 15-minute doesn't quite get going until later, a few candles later? Yeah? When I see the setups like this, look, guess what? I am biased down. Let's see if there's another. I'm trying to remember. Let me check my notes. There's another example of these dailies doing this same thing that I'm telling you. Oh, here it is. Look. So this is the day before. So yeah. So exactly how we were on the downside. This is the day before, right? So you're seeing a touch at the top. You've seen these dailies survive. Yeah. So for 2 days that means it was going down because we was all over the one video I just showed you, and for this you'd be on the downs as well. This is where you have to see these bigger time frames in action. Now look what you've got. You've got loads of 1 hours all trying to say I want to go down. It's continuously trying to test this. So what's it doing? Going sideways, right? Yeah, you got an 8 hour showing up. You've got this coming to test the high of this same setup that we see on 15 minutes, like I've given you in this example, where you have a 15-minute, it tries to test it, and then goes. Well, it's just happening 2 days later, yeah, because the same way that you have to wait a few 15-minute candles, you got to wait a few days for this to do its job, yeah, to start heading down. Guess what? Look, the bands came down. This thing is off, yeah. Do you know what? Let's just get an entry as well. You might want to wait for the second move, so we'll wait for the second move. Oh, that's something else. Right here, you're getting a second move, so potentially getting that 40 down. Look what happens. You got all of this is developing. Yeah, that's why you're getting this down move, because it's a second move on the daily, which is ready to do something. Now you got to be careful here because this is the trend setup that I told you guys that is coming. So we look out for it, but we take some pips here anyway. This is where you, again, stack. If it wants to go higher, fine. Look what's happened, it's gone. It's gone. Because that's the second move of the day. Look, it's gone all the way back. This thing is flying. We were in at 40, we're at 18 now. Right, 15 and 30 blues. This is where you say, all right, well, I'll take my profit for now. And you start looking. We still had no yellow or anything here. We've got 15, 30 blue. So it is gonna, remember what I said, how it does try to retest areas, yeah? So we do a retest. Look, oh, There you go, 1 hour. Do you see how this whole thing is happening now on the bigger time frames? Yeah. So you've got a 1 hour saying that this is going to try and push higher and retest the work, the daily and the 8 hour and the 4 hour I've just done. So we see, has it got it in it? In this circumstance, it's like gone up to the orange road. Has it got more? Is that 1 hour going to come back? This is what you need to pay attention to because a lot of the time it can go above the orange line and then drop. It's probably going to go higher. Yeah, do you see? It's exactly the same setup where the signals have survived, but it's happening a few days later. On the 15 minutes, it's like how the immediately the first 15 minute doesn't do it. It comes back to retest and goes. Yeah. All right. And especially with these trending setups, that's what happens. I wanted to show you basically what that setup exists on the 1 hour. Look, we're seeing it here. The 1 hour's there, it's gone up. Another 1 hour's come, it's gone up. Again, it's gone up. Doesn't mean that it's now going to go off to the moon. It means that, you know what, get ready because this move is coming and it's just setting up sideways. And then what happens? It goes. So a lot of the time, when you see me or Jazz or someone enter at the top of bands, it's because we know that we've seen that 1 hour previously. We've seen that trending setup developing previously. And so we're expecting it. Yeah. And that's how we read the long terms. Anyway, there you go. You can see it in action again. There you go. And that's how fast it did it in real time. See, look, oh God, look at that. This is right at the end. Look at that. That gave from 32 to 2. That gave 30 pips and one 5 minute candle. Why? It's a second move in the daily. That has tried to retest a high. Boom, man. Like, it's crazy. Right? So now you're getting 4 hour blues and stuff. So you start thinking, well, maybe I should get out now. But this is what I'm trying to show you is that look, that same thing happened. You guys seen the same thing happen on the 15 minutes, and you've just seen it happen on the daily. Yeah? Because that's what happens, these things they develop. You don't just get in straight away. I want to remind you again of this. Yeah, like it doesn't happen straight away, but it's coming, and this is why trending setups they give you so many more pips. And you're much safer. You can use a 10 pip stop loss and know that there's a good chance you're not even going to get there, right? But it requires a couple of things. It requires waiting for the second move, waiting for it to get lower if it can, and then getting in. Yeah? Hope that helps. I've just made a right mess there, but I hope you guys understand that, and I hope you guys understand this as well. Like, understand this. Trending trades number two is what to look for. These are my high probability setups. They win every time, but they require you to be patient. They require you to wait for price to get lower or wait for second moves. Like, let it really get to its lowest point. Let it say, I've had enough. Yeah, go through all the videos I've shown you today and watch them in real time and you see it. Yeah, because once you see this, you can't unsee this. Yeah. And now you understand why MTs know when 5 minute BB bands are going to break and when they're not. Yeah. Um, and look, this gives you a better read on the long term. Look at the last video, how there was lots of 1 hours on the a 1 hour time frame, and that daily looked like it was doing its second move. It had a daily arrow down 3 days prior or 2 days prior. So like that's what happens. These things they retest and then get going. Yeah, it's no different whether it's a daily or a 15. So that's why you got to look at all the time frames and make up your mind. But that setup I've shown you with the 15 minutes and the 5 minute yellow, and it works almost every time. High probability setups and why 15 minutes break. Yeah, guys, this is Dips Maverick signing out. I hope this video has helped you guys. It's a really long one, but we've been through a lot of videos, guys. Yeah. So, peace out. Thank you, MT, for everything. Thank you to all the other MTs. Thank you to Elite MT Jazz. Um, yeah, thanks for teaching me, guys. Because I appreciate it a lot, and I think without the MTs in the room, um, this would be a lot harder still. But this system is as Kevin would say, flawless. Yeah, and I've just shown you why it's flawless as well. Yeah. So guys, start looking for these trending setups, high probability. I've shown you exactly how to enter them now. Yeah. You wait for those 15 minutes to survive. You wait for it to get as high as possible can, and then you get in. Yeah. On retests, on second moves, I mean, or retests is what I like to call them. But yes, on second moves. So here you have it. The best setup I know is the number twos, and that is my favorite setup, whether it happens on the 1 hour, the daily, or even the 15 minutes. And we see it on the 15 minutes all the time. Um, guys, love you all. Peace out. I'm out. Bye bye.